Am I streaming? I can't tell if I'm streaming or not. Yeah, I thought I was. Okay, so I am live. Excellent. Connection excellent. Live viewers none. Okay. Schedule stream. Webcam. Hereditary, so viewers can find it more easily. But it's literally gaming. Game title. Oh, not right now. Oh, I can schedule one. Okay, well, I will. After this stream. Because this stream, we're just gonna review. Alright, so we're on Opera. Or no, we're not on Opera right now. Add one media file to this video. Yes, add to this video. Okay. Okay. I can play Among Us and Car Mechanics after this, if anybody is watching. Is that? No, that's not me. Okay. This is my Twitch, by the way. I'm going to keep that up. I should have kept my Twitter up too. What is happening? I don't know. Streaming on YouTube. Can I do that? Can I post that? I don't know. Pin tab. YouTube. Alright. What are we gonna watch? There's me. Wanna watch me? Wanna watch me? No, I don't. How many people do I got? Nobody so far. There's no chats. And then if I go down here, open this, that will show me how many viewers I have, and I don't have any. And that's okay. For now. It's okay for now. It won't be okay in a little bit. Fucking up your city. Alright, I'm live. Excellent. What does that do? Live stream selected. Edit. More action. Actions. Delete forever. No, absolutely not. Live now. Good. Goody good good. I'm glad I'm live. Can I put that down more, or would it smush it? Yes, it would. Well, I still can see my live viewers, so I think that's all that matters. Now I can't. Alright, that's good enough. I can control it a little bit. Alright. I don't like how my camera's being all gay-like. Now it's freaking stuck. Oh my gosh. Remove. Hold on. I'm gonna be back in a second. Alright, here I come. Video capture device. Alright. Deactivate? No. Why is it not activated? FPS doesn't matter because base default auto detect. Yeah, defaults. Yes. Okay. Why isn't it working? Lock those in. Main. Lock all those in. I don't really want to lock my camera in, but I mean, I can't do anything about it. Audio. Video capture device. Number 2. Make source visible. Okay. Yeah, configure video. Default. Okay. That's default. All that. Default. Yes. Okay. Remove. Bro. Defaults. Yes. Okay. There we go. I don't know why it's so big now. Now to screenshot source. Window projector. Not a windowed projector. Alright, that's fine. You know what? I can just do that. That's fine, then I can see myself live. That's perfectly fine, bro. Thank you. Whatever this is. This is literally perfect, because now I can just drag it around like window. See? Because it is a window. Now how do I take this one down? Would I just take that off? What is that? Video capture. My transition. Remove. Yes. No. Alright, whatever. Let me put this back up here. Video capture settings. Yes. Okay. Defaults. Yes. Okay. Now it's up there. Now it's stuck. Now it's not. Window projector source. And then hide that. But we don't gotta hide the window. Window. Bam. This one. Full screen. Window projector source. What do you mean screenshot source? My waist all itty bitty. Got these bitches with me. Fucking up your city. Alright, let's get this shit. That's how I do this. I just bam, and then bam, bam, bam. Alright, that should be good enough. That should be big enough. Is it big enough? I need to get my second screen off here though. I don't know how to do that. There we go. Perfect. Let's go. Can you guys see me? Can you guys see me still? Is there any chats? There's no chats. Is there anybody in here? I don't think there's anybody in here, but that's fine. Because whenever we start playing some shit, that's when we're going to need the viewers. Right now? We don't even need viewers. What even are those? My waist all itty bitty.
This is the iPhone 15, 15 Plus, 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. I've flown all the way to Apple Park in California, where I've gone hands-on with the phones, while also sitting down with some of Apple's major executives, so that I can give you everything you need to know, the things I like and the things I don't like. So let's start with the base 15 and 15 Plus, which have had 3 minor changes and 3 major ones from last year. The first being the design. The iPhone 15s come in a whole suite of pastel-y colors, which are all pretty inoffensive. I mean, no one's gonna hate them. But me personally, I strongly prefer just proper, vibrant, confident colors as opposed to all this washed out off-white hoopla. I remember seeing some rumors that there was going to be like a hot pink and a bubblegum blue, and honestly, that would have been awesome. But what I am really glad about is the softer edges and the matte frosted finish on the back. It may not be as cool as the very literal edginess on the last year's iPhones, but I would take comfort any day. You pick these phones up and instantly you notice this is like 200% more comfortable than the last phones. And then the other minor, but still very definitive improvement is Dynamic Island. Last year we got it on the Pro iPhones, now we've got it on every iPhone. And it doesn't fundamentally change the way you use your phone, but I would say it's a
back here. Yeah. And start doing YouTube videos. And I'll start doing YouTube videos. I can talk on YouTube and then okay, yeah, I think you should wear the Barbie outfit. With the nails and the makeup and all. Yeah. Come on, little girl. You just smell food. Come on, little girl.
Combination of both a nicer aesthetic than the notch, it just feels more futuristic and less like your phone's got a fringe.
They're the same picture.
With just a sprinkle of nice to have features. Things like when you start a timer, you can see the progress of that timer. How when you order an Uber, it'll tell you how many minutes till that Uber arrives. Funnily enough, on my flight on the way here, it was telling me the whole journey how much longer I had left till landing time, which is actually really convenient. And the other perk of it is that it persists even when you move to other apps. And so even though this dynamic island, it isn't physically creating any new screen space, it's the way that Apple has made the software around it that almost makes it behave like a secondary sub-display within your main display that lets you do two things at once. Also, the display itself is even brighter at up to 1600 nits or 2000 nits if you're in direct sunlight. If you haven't already used a 2000 nit display, it's pretty staggering. Like, it will not just be readable in broad daylight, but actually bright. There's a new ultra wideband chip, wideband being one of the ways that your iPhone communicates with your other Apple gadgets. So the better chip basically means you can find your lost goods from further away, and also your lost friends, in case you're really bad at directions. And it looks like the 15s are also getting a lot of the big camera upgrades of last year's top-end phones. This is the first big change. You know how Apple's used a 12 megapixel resolution main sensor for almost a decade now? Well, it's gone, in place of a bigger 48 megapixel sensor. And thank goodness for that. Because yeah, I mean, Apple did squeeze quite a lot out of the 12 megapixel sensor they had, but there's only so far you can go. And so with each of the last few generations, we've really felt the Pro iPhone stepping up, and then the regular iPhones scraping together some very minor software improvements, but clearly restrained by the limits of this weaker hardware. So it's nice to see that limitation being lifted. And also, this 48 megapixel sensor has the side perk of letting you take 2x zoom shots with far less of a quality hit than if we were still on the 12 megapixel sensor. And it means that in a lot of ways, these base iPhone 15s are kind of like repackaged, discounted versions of last year's 14 Pros. And that's not a bad thing. If in 1 year what was previously Pro can become mainstream, then that's progress. And it does make this definitely feel like a bigger jump than what we saw last year between the 13 and the 14. Although, you are missing one key thing in the ultra-fluid 120Hz displays that the Pros get. These phones still have a standard 60Hz refresh rate, which feels slow to me because 120Hz is what I'm used to, but it may not bother you at all if that's what you're used to. One more thing though, and this is something I never really thought I wanted, but now that I've seen it, this is nearly as big of a deal to me as the actual camera upgrade itself. When you shoot a photo with the 15 now, your phone can capture depth information automatically, which means you don't need to sit there and think, what mode should I be in right now? You just take the shot, which means you can take the shot quicker, and every single shot has the perk that afterwards you can go through and make it a portrait, and even switch between the different focal points within that shot. Now, I would guess that the reason they've not done this sooner is that to do this, your phone's got to capture a lot more information when it takes that photo. And so it should take the phone longer, and that would introduce some potential shutter lag and therefore blur in your shot. This is going to need more testing on my end to see if Apple's managed to do it with no extra delay, but that is what they're claiming. But now it's time we talk about the elephant in the room, the thing that the entire industry has been talking about for the last 6 months. Apple has shifted from a Lightning connector to a USB-C. Or in other words, they've shifted from a custom Apple-made connector to the industry standard. Now, it's not a secret that a big part of this is just Apple trying to get ahead of new EU rules, which state that by 2024, all new smartphones need to be USB-C to cut down on the unnecessary duplication of accessories. And it might even be annoying in the short term. If you have a bunch of accessories that are designed to work around Lightning, then they might well not work anymore. But in the long term, I think this is a pretty clear win on 4 fronts. A, it's better for the environment. because from now on, any smartphone accessory only needs to be made once and not in 2 separate versions. It's a better customer experience, because now you can get away with buying and carrying fewer cables, as well as using whatever charger you want. Like, I can actually feel the relief from the fact that when I now go places, I can just take one power brick, one cable, and that will charge my MacBook, my iPhone, my Nintendo Switch, and even any Android, whatever I'm carrying at the time. This move is also going to reduce some of the forced lock-in that people feel with Apple's ecosystem, meaning that even if you use an iPhone, you won't feel like you have to ditch every single accessory that you bought if you fancy trying an Android. And then the final thing is that this is not just any USB-C port. At least on the Pro iPhones, this is a USB 3 port, which is not by any means unusual in the industry, but it does mean that the transfer speeds are up to 10 gigabits per second, which is a lot better. It's like 20 times faster than Lightning was. What's not clear is if you're going to be able to get that maximum speed with the cable they ship you, and also if you're going to be able to fully take advantage of it without using specifically made-for iPhone accessories. We'll find out. It's quite funny because as they were announcing this, I was just thinking to myself, damn, now it's just AirPods left with a Lightning connector. And then they announce a set of AirPods which also have USB-C. And I mean, that is a pretty big ask to upgrade if you've just bought a Lightning pair, but it is good news if you've held off so far. And then those AirPods can be charged by your phone with the same cable that charges your phone, which is good to have, but it also feels pretty outdated given that most manufacturers can now wirelessly charge their earbuds. And then the last big change for these base iPhones is the chip. And this is both kind of one of the biggest draws and one of the biggest drawbacks. See, every year up until 2022, when Apple's launched a set of phones, all those phones were released with the same chip, with potential slight modifications, the A14 Bionic, the A15 Bionic, etc. But last year, they started to separate. The Pros got the very latest A16, while the normal phones stuck with the same chip as the year before, the A15. And so, while it is great that the base iPhones this year are getting an upgrade, the normal 15s will now get the same A16 that the Pros got last year, and that it is, let's be very clear, a super fast chip that will not cause any performance problems. What we're not getting is the very latest A17 that the 15 Pros have, which basically means, yeah, this is a trend that we can just expect to see going forward. That the Pro phones will have not just better materials and better cameras and better display tech, but will also be the only way to actually get the latest internals too. Remember, there's 2 ways to grow a company. You can either increase the amount of customers, which I'm sure Apple is doing, but it's a difficult market to be doing that in, or you can increase the average revenue per customer. And I think this is what's happening with the iPhone right now. I'm about to show you this in full force, but the point is, there has never been a bigger gap between Pro and non-Pro as there is now with the iPhone 15s. And the reason is to make it as much of a no-brainer as possible for a non-Pro user to become a Pro user. Because once you become a Pro user once, if you think about it, you're going to stay a Pro user. You're going to keep buying the $1,000 plus phones every time you upgrade, and you're probably going to feel more bought into the ecosystem as a result. Like, you might well think, well, I've already spent $1,000 on my phone, I should probably get AirPods Pro. And if I get an iPad, I should probably get the iPad Pro. And what's another $10 a month for some Apple Music too? Regardless of the strategy, the iPhone 15 Pros are pretty badass. And for these, there are 6 major things that we need to talk about. The screen is using a brand new bit of tech that's allowed Apple to shrink the bezels to basically record-breaking levels. To be clear, some other phones do have slimmer side bezels, but from everything I've seen, I don't think there's a phone that's achieved bezels like this while also having symmetry on all 4 sides. And it's kind of a double win, because anytime you manage to shrink the borders around your screen, you get a choice. You can either make the screen bigger and fit it into the same footprint, or you can make your phone smaller with the same screen size, which is exactly what Apple's done. It's kind of like they've taken last year's iPhone 14 Pro and just trimmed off the entire outer layer around the outside. The phone is thicker than last generation though, presumably to accommodate a bigger battery. And so in a way, it's actually really important that Apple's managed to do that trimming so that the phone doesn't feel bulky. And then you've got the action button, a button for which you can decide what it does, which is something it seems like Apple tested last year with the more niche Watch Ultra, before now rolling it out to the mainstream with the iPhone. And my hot take is that I like it, but I don't love it. Because, I mean, on one hand, for me, it's not taking away anything. I never really use the Ring silent switch, because when I don't want to be disturbed by notifications, I'd rather just go all the way into Do Not Disturb. And you can still use this action button to silence your phone, but it's just that as well as that, you can now also use it to open the camera, to start a voice recording, or what's really appealing to the hardcore Android customization freak inside of me is that you can also use it to trigger any of your Siri shortcuts, which basically means any function of your phone. So you could use it to open up Spotify, you could use it to activate power saving mode, mode, which I could actually see myself doing quite a lot. Well, you can even use it to vibrate your speakers at a specific frequency to clear out.
Alright, we're going to well, why did I hide both of them? We're going to do this. How do I keep it on the same thing? Would I just do this? Alright. Let's see. Notifications, home, post. I'm going to literally
I have the biggest purchase in Walmart. Have the biggest purchase in Walmart. Have the biggest purchase in Walmart. Have the biggest purchase in Walmart.
Alright, there we go. Copy it around. Copied it then around. And then now we go back to X. And then after we go back to X, what do? We pick this back up, and then we do that, and then we get that back out. That's how we do that. Alright. And then we take this one, and we actually bring it over here. And then we expand it, so I can see myself. Expand some more, just a little bit more, and then size it. Shrink it, size it, shrink it, size it, size, shrunk, sunk, skunk, nunk. Right. Alright, we got this. What's happening? This is what's happening. Paste. I don't think it's that bad. Look at that, that's nice. Good style. Analytics. Overview. 1.6 Monday. Wednesday. An average of 0.6. That's because I'm grinding on YouTube. And on mom. Jeff Gandhi. I need to block those people. Yeah. Alright, let's do this. 7 follows. Who has 7 follows? Average viewers. Follows. Time streamed. Unique viewers. Notification. Engaged viewers. 4 engaged viewers. And 8 unique chatters. That's cool, I guess. Time streamed. How about live views? 89. 81 live views. What does that mean? Once I got 8 live views, I don't know what that means. 89 live? I don't know what that means. Is that good or bad? Let's open it in chat. 100? I don't know. Start sending us your video from. Done. Copy. File settings. Stream. Output. Yeah. Updates. Set sensitivity. Am I clicking report? Or am I on? I think I just do fucking. Stream manager. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.